you all to yet another edition of BI Dialogue series. Bureaucrats India, a digital platform designed to bring out good governance stories and good work done by bureaucrats, corporates, and PSUs across India. For more updates, do follow us on our social media platforms, that is @bureaucratsInd on Facebook and Twitter, and Bureaucrats India on Instagram. You can watch this conversation live on our Facebook page. Do tune in. Today, we have with us a very special guest, IPS Shri Praveen Kumar Sinha, ADGP, Prisons, Punjab Police. An economist by education, a policeman by profession, and a trainee by passion, Shri Sinha holds a major in economics from prestigious Delhi University and JNU. A 1994 batch IPS officer had served as SSP of districts Firozpur, Taran, Nawan Shahar, and Ropar, along with holding other major positions in the intelligence, crime, and technical service wings of police. He has served as Commissioner of Police, Jalandhar, and IGP, Cybercrime and Intelligence. His major areas of interest include police operations, cybercrime, and training. Reforming governance, particularly policing system, and ushering use of technology in governance has been a lifelong passion and drive for him. He has also represented India as the head of delegation in Asia Pacific Conference of Correctional Administrator at Ulaanbaatar, Mongolia in September 2019. He has been also conferred President's Medal for Meritorious Service and President Medal for Distinguished Service. Presently, posted as the head of the Department of Punjab Prisons, he has been instrumental in bringing out numerous initiatives to reform the prison system in India, in Punjab. Welcome, sir. Now I request Dr. Navneet Anand, Editor-in-Chief, Bureaucrats India, to take this conversation ahead. Over to you, sir.
Hello and welcome to yet another show of BI Dialogue. Thank you very much, Shri Praveen Kumar Sinha, an illustrious IPS officer of the 1994 batch, recipient of many prestigious awards, including the President's Medal for Meritorious Services and President's Medal for Distinguished Services. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you so much, Navneet, and it's an absolute pleasure to be here. And thank you, Sweta and Nena, for that wonderful introduction.
Right. So we have known you as a no-nonsense, very reform-oriented, strong in policing, and that is best reflected now in your current posting. So we'll begin with that. We'll begin with some conceptual questions, Mr. Sinha, to begin with. So one of the major challenges of Indian prisons, as you know better than me, is the structural constraints of overcrowding, understaffing, and perhaps underfunding also. The inevitable outcomes are perhaps subhuman living conditions, and this is an outsider view. You can correct me if I'm wrong. The perception is poor hygiene and also violent classes. How do you look at this issue, please?
Navneet, while you paint this picture of the issues and problems that we face, the truth possibly is somewhere in between. If I look at Punjab, and I have been able to visit a few states for the last 2.5 years since when I have been heading this prison department in Punjab. If I look at the infrastructure in Punjab, it is a mixture. We have jails which are more than 100 years old and not necessarily in a very bad condition. But we have jails, we have 6-7 jails which have been built in the last 10-12 years and with sprawling infrastructure. So infrastructure itself would not be a criteria that all jail infrastructure is poor. Maintenance is an issue, yeah. Funding issues are, and I know this is quite across the country, except for a few states like Telangana, Kerala, they get good funding. We are at the lower end of funding, so that's been a consistent challenge. As far as manpower is concerned, yes, qualitatively and quantitatively, that's been a challenge for us. I see this challenge with many other states in the country. We keep interacting at various fora with officers of other states. And because corrections as such is such a wide area, and a difficult area. It's not an easy area, especially for uniformed officers, because it needs interventions of various kinds. Hence, the qualitative aspect of manpower is very important. And that is where I think a lot is lacking. And as we discuss further, maybe I'll elaborate on a few issues.
Thank you. That's a good context to start speaking about. Now, having been at the helm for last 1.5 years, as you said, what are the
2.5
major...
actually.
Sorry, 2.5.
2.5 since July 19 actually.
Right. So, what are some of the major interventions that you have initiated, Mr. Sinha?
Okay, Navneet, it's not always good to start on a sorry note, but unfortunately, you know, we had COVID since February 2020, and a lot of our efforts went into fighting COVID. But in general, if you look at it, if I look at the paradigm of corrections, it starts from custody and care, goes on to corrections, and now if I look at what the Western world is doing, or the more evolved societies are doing, they are taking it to rehabilitation and reintegration with society also. So the prison system, the correctional administration, if you may like to call it that, is starting from custody, care, corrections, rehabilitation, and ending up in reintegration. In India, we have quite an evolved system. If you ask me, the legal structure, the rules, the laws, and the regulations, they are almost all there. We have evolved over the last period. But when I saw what we were doing, going back to 2019 July, what I felt is a lot of our energies were being taken in just custody and care. And Punjab, just to set the context right, Punjab is a difficult place to police as well as for correctional administration. I'll just give you an example. We are a very high per capita prisoner population. We have a very high per capita prisoner population in Punjab. One comparative figure I'll give you. Telangana has a state population of around 4 crores, plus minus 10 lakhs. They have a prisoner population of 6,500, 6,500 almost. Punjab has a population of around 3.1 crore, if I extrapolate from the 2011 census. We have a prisoner population of 25,500 as we speak today. So per capita, if you see, we are very high. In fact, I did an analysis. Punjab is possibly the highest. We are around 87, 88 prisoners per 1 lakh population, which Telangana comes to around less than 20. So that is one. Number two, the qualitative aspects of prisoners in Punjab is also very difficult. Punjab suffers from the drug problem. 45% of my prisoners are under the NDPS Act. Of the total prison population, 40% are drug addicts themselves, whom we treat within the prison through various methods, de-addiction and the other method of harm reduction, where you give them medicines, you get them from unknown devils to known devils. So buprenorphine is what we serve, but we serve it to 40% of our prison population. So what I noticed was our energies were being taken on custody and care, taking them to courts, bringing them back to courts. So that, I mean, we hardly had any energy left for corrections or take it to rehabilitation and reintegration level. This was problem number one. And the problem number two was lack of resources. So my focus in the last 2.5 years has been on these two. Starting correctional programs as much as we could to make these people feel they are still a wanted part of society, because the hope was a problem. People in once, the most educated and a person who has sufficient amount of money, even when he goes in, when he goes inside the walls of the prisons, he loses hope. So we wanted to rekindle that hope that there is a life after this. And number two, generate resources for the prisons so that we could take up these programs on our own. We won't be reliant on the government infrastructure or the government budget for every small intervention that we wanted to
do. Thank you. That's a very smart analysis, I would say, Mr. Sinha. 45% under NDPC, and as you said, the per capita population in prison is very, very high, perhaps the highest, as you rightly said. And that brings us to the core of what we are talking today: correctional interventions and unlocking commercial potentials of prisons. Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching yet another edition of BI Dialogue, and with me is a very, very illustrious IPS officer, Mr. Praveen Kumar Sinha of Punjab Cadre 1994 batch. Praveen, coming to the next question now, what are some of the correctional interventions in concrete terms that you initiated after you analyzed this very smart analysis? I know you have been a terrific student, both in Delhi University and JNU, and naturally many of these aspects, besides your illustrious policing career, is coming into play when you do these analysis before starting on a course correction method. Now, what are some of these interventions, if you could please elaborate on, Praveen?
Yeah, Navneet, what caught your attention possibly was the jail radio that we started, and that's where all this we came to what we are doing today. But let me tell you, I'll just give you a brief data about the prison population. There are basically two kinds of prisoners in the prison: under trials and convicts. Under trials, whose cases are still under trial, you have to take them to court and stuff like that. And convicts are those who have been sentenced. They are in prison custody. So the courts have, after that, they have nothing to do with it. You have to ensure that if they have given 10 years, then they spend 10 years in jail and they go out. All our laws, especially the prison-related manuals, the rules, they are all focused towards convicts. Because traditionally, it was assumed that there will be very few number of under trials in prisons, especially the large prisons, what we call the central jails. There are three types of jails in a state: the sub jails at the subdivisional level, district jails at the district level, and a few big jails in the state which are called central jails. Nothing to do with central government, state government, but they are called central jails. Central jails are basically primarily supposed to be for convicts, where they stay there, do their time, they learn skills, they correct themselves and go out. You'll be surprised to know that today in Punjab, we have 75% under trials in all our jails, including the central jails. UP, the situation is even worse. Yeah, I think they are at 81 or 82%. And it is almost the same in every state. We'll not go into the causes. If time permits, we can take it up later. But now, with all our focus on all the focus of the laws and regulations on convicts, we were not doing anything for the 75%. So how do I engage them? That was my biggest challenge. So we did 3 or 4 things. We started, first thing that we did was education and skilling. We started a program, we called it Sikhya Dat. Shiksha ka daan, Hindi mein kahenge, Punjabi mein Sikhya Dat. So any person who wants to learn, illiterate person, if he wants functional literacy, we tied up with the literacy mission, which is closed now, but they have huge amount of these material with them. They have their ex-teachers also. So we engaged them. We gave them the material. So that was one, literacy. All my jails are registered with the National Open School and IGNOU. So anyone who wants to do 10th or 12th or wants to graduate, they can do it while sitting in the jail. And we have ensured that the centers can also be created. The examination centers can be created in the jail. So the examination will be held in the jail premises. Unfortunately, since February to around a couple of months back, everything was closed because of COVID. We couldn't take it there, but that registration is there. That thing is, this process is in place. We tied up with the skill development mission of the state. Now, in my jails, I need a lot of plumbers, electricians, carpenters, masons for day-to-day maintenance of the jail. The problem we saw with the structure of the skill development mission programs was that they say that you have to be gainfully employed after the skill training has been imparted for the company who is doing the skill mission training to get its full amount. So people were not coming to us. So what we did is we said, okay, we need these trades. The society also needs this trade. At the moment, there is a shortage of trained plumbers and carpenters in general in society. So we said, okay, we will employ them within the jails after they have finished their training, the skill development training. So that ensured that the private party which was coming for the skill development training would get its full reimbursement for the training that they imparted. Apart from this, we did another correctional intervention about which I'm very proud of is a program we call, it's always said that originality lies in hiding the source, but let me be upfront. We copied it from Maharashtra. This program we call in Punjab Gal Vakdi, and Maharashtra calls it Gala Bhet, basically Gala Lagna. That is the whole concept. This is a process of catharsis. So under trials and convicts, we have created a room in all our prisons, a specially developed room which has non-official kind of a setting, a more informal setting with lounge chairs and all, where the prisoners of the family of the prisoners come there and they interact with the prisoners, and they go, and we have volunteers from the local college, some psychologists, some social worker, really not trained, but a third person, not a person of uniform, whether in uniform or otherwise, a person of uniform always remains a person of uniform. So in that informal setting, they sit down, they go through a process of catharsis, what happened, why are they there, and what they can do not to get into make these mistakes again. So this is another program that we have been able to set up. And the last one that we have just inaugurated at 2 places, and as we speak tomorrow, I'm going to Kapurthala to inaugurate the 3rd radio station, is what we call Radio Ujala Punjab. Again, not a new concept. Some states already have it. We are actually a latecomer. 2-3 states already have it, but we intend in the next 12 months to start it in all the prisons of the state. This is not a traditional radio with a wireless radio system. This is basically one room has been created in each jail for recording your own programs. And the transmission happens through an array of speakers which have been placed all over the jail. So you have a network of speakers in the jails, and this is a radio for the prisoners by the prisoners. So the program, and each jail is supposed to create this program for 2 to 3 hours in a day, or maybe up to 4 hours. The prisoners, इसमें गाने होंगे, फरमाइशी गाने होंगे, कुछ भजन होगा, कुछ संगीत होगा. There will be messages by prisoners, and in fact, because of the drug problem, we are looking at messages of de-addiction. We are looking at success stories where we have been able to wean away prisoners from drugs.
Wonderful. That's quite learning for people like me, the outsiders who have formed stereotypes about prison. And what you're sharing, Mr. Sinha, is really very, very helpful for people like me and our audience who are getting to know the insights of how our prisons function. Help us to also understand how are these uh, impacting the prisoners and their families. So, for instance, I'll begin with your latest intervention, very, very impressive. Uh, on a lighter note, is there any influence of the full film Sanju that we saw doing exceedingly well? And that was one another very great attempt to demystify prisons for us, for civilians, for people like us. But what is the kind of training which is happening for content generation in this radio, Ujala?
Very nice question, Navneet. Sorry, in fact, I forgot to tell you this. Uh, Most of the things that we are doing, we are not doing it alone. Because I believe there are a lot of resources out there whom we need to tap. So coming to Radio Ujala, there's a foundation called India Vision Foundation. This was established by Honorable Mrs. Kiran Bedi, and it's quite an active organization. There's another foundation called Tinka Tinka, with whom Haryana prisons have. We are also doing some projects with them for corrections and all that. Small projects here and there, which I didn't mention here. So India Vision Foundation is providing the training as well as the guidance on developing the content. So they're already running it in a couple of states. So what we have gone through a process, 3 training sessions. In fact, we had to collect all the few prisoners from each prison who would be becoming the RJs for the future for those prisons. We got them to Ludhiana. India Vision team came, they trained the prisoners. These prisoners went back to the jails. Then we had a training session for the prison officers who are supposed to be managing it. What are the do's and don'ts? What are the precautions you have to take? Because prisons are sensitive places. It cannot be absolutely unregulated kind of a atmosphere. So all that training has gone in, and the hand holding by India Vision Foundation will be there for the next 6 to 8 months till we are up and about and strong enough. This is as far as Radio Ujala is concerned. Similarly, we have NGOs or some universities which are guiding us on education. And we don't really find a dearth of public spirited people. And quite a few of them are already aligned with us. And we see that, as we go looking out for any area of specialization that we need, we are getting, except on the psychological intervention, which is a long drawn day-to-day affair. That's one area where I have not been able to get enough support, and from within the government or without.
Wonderful. Considering that much of our audience and people in Punjab would want to, there are audience which are also wanting to hear it in Hindi. कुछ questions मैं प्रवीण जी को करूंगा जी. तो कुछ लोगों का ये भी मानना है कि जो एक आम धारणा बनी हुई है कि मोबाइल फोन्स जाते हैं, there are these swanky lifestyle that many prisoners are leading. तो जो अखबारों में आता है, जो मैं पत्रकार रह चुका हूं तो मुझे पता है कि कैसे खबरें बनती हैं, बट उस बारे में आप क्या कहना चाहेंगे सर, कि जो जैसे मोबाइल फोन्स का पेनिट्रेशन और भी कुछ पंजाब जैसे स्टेट में क्या ड्रग्स भी एक समस्या है, कि ड्रग्स भी किसी तरह स्मगल होता है इनसाइड द प्रिजन्स, ऐसी कुछ समस्या है?
देखिए, समस्या जो आप पत्रकारिता में देखे होंगे, जो फिल्म में देखते हैं, वो कहीं ना कहीं किसी ना किसी सच्चाई को दर्शाता है. अगर मोबाइल फोन कहीं फिल्मों में दिखला रहा है, कहीं न्यूज में आ रहा है, तो एक्चुअली है. और यू विल एक्चुअली बी सरप्राइज्ड विद द क्वांटम. मैं आपको बताता हूं, मेरा एक और फोकस एरिया रहा है कि मोबाइल फोन हमने ज्यादा पकड़ने हैं. 2019 में टोटल मोबाइल रिकवरी पंजाब के जेलों में करीब करीब 900 के आसपास थी। 2020 में टोटल मोबाइल रिकवरी पंजाब के जेलों में 2400 हुआ है। 2400 mobiles have been recovered. Today, we are already at a figure of around 2,800. This year, we are coming to the close of the year. This year, we will be closing at around 2,800. So the huge amount of mobiles are there. And Navneet, you will again, one of the interventions where we try to make the prisoner's life easy. Delhi में भी लगा हुआ है, prison के अंदर ये telephone booths लगते हैं, PCO लगते हैं। वो एक इलेक्ट्रॉनिक सिस्टम होता है जिसमें कि आप अपना जाके या तो फिंगरप्रिंट लगाओगे, बायोमेट्रिक लगाओगे, या आपको एक पिन दिया जाएगा। जब आपने अपना पिन डाला तो आपका you are only supposed to make calls to a few designated numbers जो आपका पहले से अप्रूव हुआ होता है। Delhi is still allowing 2, Chandigarh is allowing 2. What I saw that in Punjab we were also allowing 2 numbers in 2019. I increased that number to 10. That आप 10 नंबर का लिस्ट दीजिए, आप इन 10 नंबर पे आप बात कर सकते हैं। दिन में 10 मिनट अलाउड था एक प्रिजनर को। We increase it to 15. We are going to increase it further because हमें नंबर ऑफ सिस्टम्स बढ़ाने होते हैं, तो धीरे धीरे उसको बढ़ा रहे हैं। तो 15 मिनट एक कैदी 10 डेजिग्नेटेड नंबर पे बात कर सकते हैं। You will, I mean, I was surprised. I thought कि इससे मोबाइल की डिमांड घटेगी, नहीं घटी। हम पकड़ते रहे, उसमें लोगों के ऊपर केस होता रहा, लेकिन नंबर ऑफ प्रेजेंस ऑफ मोबाइल्स इन जेल्स has not decreased. I think the issue is that mobile gives, I mean, and almost 70% of them are button mobiles, those not the touch phones कि आप इंटरनेट पे बैठे हुए। मतलब लोग फोन कॉल करने के लिए ही रखा हुआ है मोबाइल, despite the cases happening. So people are taking a lot of risk to keep. So there's a real big demand. So mobiles in prisons is a big menace for us and possibly many other states of the country. And the connection of these mobiles with the crimes happening outside is very high. So it's a big, big challenge. I would like to spend a couple of minutes on what interventions we are doing to stop these mobiles. The easiest thing is कि jammer लगा दो. People don't realize the cost of jammers. The technologies that the approved technologies for jamming that we have in the country are very, very costly. At the moment, Bharat Electronics Limited and ECIL are the only 2 organizations which have been approved for setting up these jammers. I will tell you, a 44-acre jail of Bhatinda that I have, उसका total jamming solution 18 crore का estimate आया है। We also in Punjab have these high security zones. These are small jails within jails जहाँ की हम high risk prisoners, so-called gangsters वगैरह को रखते हैं। केवल ये 14 जेलों में बना हुआ है। केवल हाई सिक्योरिटी जोन्स में अगर मैं जैमर्स लगाऊं तो उसका एस्टिमेट 28 करोड़ ECIL का आया था 1.5 साल पहले, और 22 करोड़ बेल का आया था at the same time. So these are very costly solutions. Then if you have to spend 28 crores, then you need 3 crores every year for their O&M also, operation and maintenance. So what we need is a cheaper solution, and there are 2 good cheap solutions coming up. Delhi has done an experiment. I have also gone and met the people that matter, security and all. उन्होंने क्या किया कि एक टावर लगाया है जेल के अंदर. We have also experimented with this in 2017 when Mr. Arora was our DG. That tower is still there in Kapurthala jail, but उसके बाद 4G आ गया तो हम आगे नहीं बढ़ पाए. अब फिर से DOT और एक स्ट्रक्चर्ड तरीके से गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया का इंटरवेंशन हुआ है और एक टावर लगाया गया है, एक स्ट्रॉन्ग, इट्स कॉल्ड द डोमिनेंट टावर टेक्नोलॉजी. जेल के अंदर टावर लगा दो, जो मोबाइल है उस टावर से लैच करेगा, एंड यू प्रोग्राम द टावर इन सच अ वे कि उससे कॉल थ्रू नहीं होता है. तो आपका मोबाइल सिग्नल दिखला रहा है लेकिन आपका कॉल लैंड नहीं करेगा, फाइनली थ्रू नहीं होगा, सक्सेसफुल नहीं होगा. That is the dominant tower technology. Another central agency with a startup, they have now devised a jamming solution. Bhatinda jail का मैं एग्जांपल इसलिए दे रहा था, कहाँ हमारा 18 लाख का एस्टिमेट आया था, 18.5 करोड़ का. Now with the new technology that has been developed, We are jamming that whole jail, and as we speak, the POC is already there. The jammers have been installed and proof of concept has been given. Around 1.5 crores we have been able to jam the whole jail. So new technologies are coming up, and that is going to be the solution. You have to disrupt the signal. Controlling the mobiles physically or is not a solution, because when the demand is there, the supply will come, and that's also true about drugs. We have जेल्स में मोबाइल जाने के 3-4 तरीके होते हैं, एंड अप फ्रंट मैं कहना चाहूंगा फर्स्ट तरीका है कि आप जेल के ऑफिशियल्स को मिला लो because of monetary reasons. Then jails are a two-dimensionally closed structure. We have to remember that. Side से फेंक कर सामान पहुंचना बहुत आसान है. Number 3, there are huge amount of things going into the jail. खाना जा रहा है, सब्जी जा रहा है, सामान जा रहा है. So आवाजाही जेल के गेट से काफी जा रहा है. So that also creates a problem. You don't have the kind of technology that you might have at airports for scanning baggage and stuff like that. We have put scanners, but there are issues with everything. Controlling a mobile becomes a very difficult thing, especially the small mobiles. And in Punjab, we have seen, because the habitation have come close to jails, throw is a very easy method of bringing in mobiles and drugs. Drugs also, because of the high number of drug addicts and drug smugglers in jails, there is the issue. The controlling drugs in prison is a big challenge, and it is a serious issue for us. There are drug cartels which are actually working from within the jails.
On a lighter note, hope some of our friends are not watching you sitting in their jails, watching the ADGP prisons speak on Facebook. Wonderful. Those are really smart interventions.
It's okay if they're watching. I'm sure they are watching.
All right. And you're also, I can sense that you're also giving that message to those who may want to take it, that you're going to be tough and you're going to be ahead of them in terms of taking innovations over them or dominating their small tricks. Now, you spoke about psychological and psychiatric interventions, and that there are gaps, if I understood it correctly.
Yes.
So is there any consideration as to how you wish to go in that direction?
Navneet, I haven't been able to find a solution, to tell you very frankly. The amount of psychological and psychiatric intervention that I require in the jails is huge. I wrote to the medical colleges, I wrote to all the university vice chancellors, a few of them are personal friends, to involve the psychology department and the social work department. The Patiala University, GNDU Amritsar, as well as Punjab University, all of them have psychology as well as social work as two different departments. And both basically do deal in a lot of those issues that we encounter in the jails. Apart from that, we need trained clinical psychologists, not only social workers, trained clinical psychologists and psychiatrists, because the high number of drug addicts that we have in jail. Drug addiction is one issue. The other 50% of 60%, which are not drug addicts, they go through very serious mental health issues. Punjab became infamous in 2019 because we had the highest number of suicides in the country. In fact, a small state with the highest number of suicides. 18 or 19 had died that year, but that was the highest in any state in the country. So mental health is a big challenge. I have proposed to the government to create these permanent posts of psychiatrists and psychologists in jail, with no success at all. That is, but I will keep trying. What the support that we are getting now is visits by the government psychiatrists on a bi-weekly, twice a week or thrice a week, depending on the kind of jail. But some colleges have started coming forward now. Twice or thrice after we wrote, some colleges have started coming up. We are developing modules with them. But we are nowhere there. In fact, Telangana is a very good model. You should explore what they have done. they have a retired professor from Osmania University, and she is an institution in herself, and she has created this whole network which is supporting their prisoners. We have not been able to do it, but I I see the answer not in getting NGO support or something. We have to create a strong pillar of psychiatrists and psychologists within the department, especially in states like Punjab, where the number of the prisoners is very high. We just can't leave it to outside support to finally take it. And this has been, I mean, this has been an area of my failing. I haven't been, despite trying very hard, I have been able to do much about it.
You have always been very candid in accepting the drawbacks or the gaps. I'll request my team also, Rajiv Roy, the editor, and associate editor Nana Jha, Sweta, Bharti, Pooja Rai, to please highlight this. You know, if we could contribute through our social media channels in highlighting this problem, and I'm sure there are many who are willing. In the age of Zoom, I think much can be done online, and we would, from Bureaucrats India, we would like to do our best in terms of attracting or highlighting the attention of this particular problem and how there are external agencies and parties and institutions who can help. We shall surely do.
Thank you so much. That would be really helpful.
We'll surely do, Mr. Sinha. So, and that brings me to a related question. You have been doing some incredible work, amazing work, but I find that your social media, you're not very, somebody, unlike many of your young colleagues, you're not very social media savvy. Would you like to share your thoughts on social media?
Not as yet. You gave me an idea a couple of days back when we first interacted. So possibly I was trying to look at my Twitter handle and it was largely inactive. The first thing I retweeted was the meeting, the Zoom meet that we are having at the moment. So yes, in fact, social media is a two-way, do dhari talwar hai. So let me tell you very frankly, as a government official, you actually need a dedicated team of 2 or 3 people to handle it on a day-to-day basis. Otherwise, if you're not able to respond, social media in general cannot be a one-way process. If people are raising issues, we need to respond. So possibly that is what has been keeping us back. But I think we need to be more active. I mean, there's no two ways about it. We are developing quite a few IT platforms, and hopefully we'll be able to be more active. But yes, that has been something which was not on my mind much, but I think we need to be more active. The bottom line is that.
Yeah, and we are happy to provide some assistance on that count as well.
Oh, thank you so much.
Mr. Sinha, when you know that having been at the helm of managing the IPS Association social media handles, my company, Grey Matters Communications, I was fortunate. Of course, we have known each other for 30 years now, but I was fortunate to make some friends with very, very young IPS officer. And naturally, you retweeted, and many young officers, some of them approached me. I can name some of them. Ashish Tiwari, if he is watching this,
okay.
Carter, he wanted your number. He wanted to reach out to you. Harsh Poddar, one of the very, very bright IPS officers of Maharashtra cadre.
They're all my trainees, if you know.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay.
I was 5 years in the National Police Academy, so they're all my trainees.
All right. Okay. So they all were so happy that you finally got Praveen, sir, for us. Thank you so much. And it will be a delight to watch, sir. So great. There you are. You are already inspiring some of your young officers of Punjab cadres have also retweeted that. Wonderful. Coming to the next very exciting subject, Praveen ji, about unlocking commercial potential of prisons. And I'm sure the audience will be very, very happy to hear from you. What are some of these and how it is transforming prisons in Punjab?
Yeah, we are taking some baby steps. Some states are ahead of us in this again. But I'd like to in general talk about, because this is one area about which people in general do not know. And within the bureaucracy, within the government services also, people don't have much of an idea. Look, If I have a prison population of 25 odd thousand with me, I have 25 odd thousand working hands. That is the commercial potential that I'm talking about. Prisons have huge tracts of land. You have lands which are now commercially very, very important and they are good commercial pieces of land. Number two, what you have is manpower, assured manpower at very cheap rates. The convicts who are or the under trials who work in prison are paid wages because they are given place to stay, they are given food. The wages is much below the minimum wages. So if I give you an example of Punjab, the wages were revised around 7-8 years back, but the revised wages as they stand today is unskilled 40, skilled 50, and semi-skilled 50, and skilled 60, 40, 50, 60 rupees per day for an 8-hour shift. So I have assured cheap labor, I have land and infrastructure. So all the central jails and many of the district jails will have these factory sheds where factories are supposed to be set up in the jails. And government officials would know that when we were young officers, we had to buy our furniture from jail. In the police, my tents would always be made in the jails. Even today, I'm making them. So a lot of assured things would be coming from the jails. Jail itself, so I have 25,000 prisoners. I give them 4 biscuits a day. So 1 lakh biscuits have to be supplied to my jails every day. I can produce those things within the jails. In yesteryears, when jails have had much larger tracts of land, they would do a lot of farming and produce a lot of food inside the jails. So these are the commercial potentials we are looking at. But what are my fallacies? My problems, if I look at if I do a SWOT analysis, the weakness is that if I produce, my selling capacities, my selling network is the biggest problem. I can't sell stuff. I can keep producing them. So government did give us even in the Punjab financial rules and other states, you can buy from jails without tender. So we are an assured supplier. The problem, where did the problem come? The problem came that government would give you X amount of money. So it was all through the budget. I mean, this would be understood by government officers more than other people, that you got X amount of money from the budget. You had to buy the raw material from that. You produce things, you sell it to the people who buy it at a profit of 10% and deposit the money back to the government. So ये from the budget to the consolidated fund से आता था, consolidated fund में जाता था. इसमें बहुत time लगता है, the process. That is why in the government started making these corporations. So what we have done in Punjab, and again we are the second state, Telangana is number 1. They did it much before. We have set up what is called the Punjab Prison Development Board. It is like a corporation within the department. So you can spend from here, you can earn and plow it back in here. You don't have to go through the budget route. So this corporation has been established in 2020. In April, we have the rules also in place by September 2020. And we have started our activities. We have got a few orders, around 10 odd crores of orders from various government departments. More importantly, many states are doing it. We are not the first again, but we are setting up 12 petrol pumps at various jail on the all those petrol pumps who had land abutting a highway or a busy road. We are setting up petrol pumps there, and these will be run by the prisoners. There will be a supervisor, could be a retired official or a retired Indian Oil official or a Bharat Petroleum official. So out of the 12, 11 have been, it was through a tender process, 11 has been won by Indian Oil, 1 has been won by Bharat Petroleum. And we are in various stages of setting up these petrol pumps. Another important thing that we are doing is bringing in PPP projects in the jail. So I have my labor, I have my factory shed. I'm telling people, come set up your factory within the jail. Low technology, high labor intensive stuff. So we have been able successfully. We have done. We have signed MOUs with for 5 PPPs. We have done one for furniture in Bhatinda jail, 2 for biodegradable carry bags, and 2 for sanitary napkins. Another one for a bakery is under process in Ludhiana jail. So this, I think this is going to be a major area where we can intervene. Another one for women prisoners, there are a couple of women self-help groups. These are ex-employees of Fab India and Mother Earth who are now working with the village women. So we came through some contact, we came in contact with them. So they have set up these units in Amritsar jail, and one they are setting up in Sangrur jail, where they will be training the women into making these daris and stuff like that, which will finally, we hope to finally source it down to these bigger chains. Because so they will be giving us the technical inputs, the color combinations and everything, and our women would be making those articles and supplying it to these organizations. So basically, if we get a marketing network, then the basic idea is to get a marketing network. Production is the easier part. It is always the easier part, even for the private sector. So the marketing, we are trying to get the marketing network through these PPP projects. So these are some of the commercial, I mean, and let me tell you, Telangana today has a turnover of over 500 crores. I will not mention about we are still not, we haven't crossed 10 crores as yet. But Telangana has in which almost 450 crores comes from the 28 petrol pumps that they have. They have 28 petrol pumps. Their locations are such that they have been able to establish 28 petrol pumps. But a lot of that turnover is coming from the petrol pumps. But we intend to start a lot of more factories because we have a huge number of prisoners in our population, in our prisons. Number of prisoners is very high, and we can make them, give them productive work. And yes, the beauty of this board has been that what we are offering the prisoners is twice the wage. So if it's 100 rupees, 50 rupees for a semi-skilled person, under the prison development board, we are giving them 100 rupees. So जो भी सरकार का rate है उसका हम double देंगे. And I'll give you one example. ये जो skill development training वगैरह हम कर रहे थे, तो हमारे जेलों में काम जो कंस्ट्रक्शन वर्क चलता रहता है, कुछ ना कहीं कहीं नया बैरक बन रहा है, कहीं हॉस्पिटल बन रहा है, कुछ बन रहा है. So what we have done now, we have told the police housing corporation which does our construction, we've told them कि you tell your contractors they don't need to get labor from outside. We have trained masons, carpenters, plumbers inside. We have fixed a rate with them. So they have a contract with our prison development board. So अगर बाहर में 400 रुपए का मेसन मिलता है तो मैं उसको 300 में 250 में देता हूँ. And he takes the mason from the jail and does the construction within the jail. So he doesn't have to get all his labor from outside. So mason, carpenter, plumber, we are provide and the unskilled labor that they require for the construction activity. Everything is being provided from within the jail to the carpenter, to the contractor through the prison development.
That's remarkable work, Praveen ji, and compliments to you for being so visionary in your approach, so aggressive. A couple of things. One is that I'd like to request the likes of Amazon and Flipkart of the world to look at these very high potential social interventions where and leverage, if you could allow the Punjab Prison Development Board to leverage your incredible online and offline marketing network. I think without
that's a great idea. Never occurred to me.
Without seeking your permission, I'm bringing this because I know you are a progressive officer and you would not object to it. But the likes of Amazon and Flipkart, again, I'll request my colleagues led by my team, Rajiv Roy, to kindly look into this, highlight this as much as possible. And Praveen ji, we would also like to capture some of these stories, through Bureaucrats India, and we have a fairly good network of social media?
Anytime, Navneet, everything is available. In fact, if you permit me, and if time permits, we'll talk about use of technology in prisons also. I'd like to talk about that.
In fact, that was my next question, going ahead, that how are you using technology in all of this?
Technology for really corrections. We have, most of the technology that we are using is more for the custody and care part. Tell you very frankly. Oh, scanners, body scanners, metal detectors, they are passé. They are costly stuff, but they are routine stuff. I don't really take them as technology interventions anymore. We have these NLGG, non-linear junction detectors, which you see the police forces using in the Maoist area, but we use it in the prisons also to detect mobile phones and SIM cards. So, but these are detectors at the end of it. We are actually in the process of 2 or 3 major technology interventions. One is the IA-based CCTV system. Artificial intelligence-based CCTV system. Now, we talked about throws coming in jails. चलो main gate से जो हमारा बंदा मिला हुआ है, उससे एक X percentage जा रहा है. We keep catching people. Our own employees, I think I have arrested around 20 of them in the last 2.5 years, put them behind bars. But this is a continuous cat and mouse game, which will keep happening because human lalach will never finish. But coming to the other key, how can I create a better environment in the jail? How can I have a predictive system where I can catch throws coming over the wall? So we are in touch with a startup. They have done some work with UP prisons. We are now taking it up to the next level, where we are going to place cameras on the wall, on the outer walls of the jails. And any projectile that comes across over the prison wall, there will be an alert generated with quite a precise location ki kahan pe ye throw hua hai. The technology that they are looking at is the same as the ball tracking technology in tennis matches or cricket matches. कि अगर ball को track करता है वो, so same technology the same thing they are using here. And the projectile, suppose a bird flies and a throw is happening, so the projectile of the path of the projectile is always different. So the system has to be intelligent enough to differentiate between a bird flying and a throw happening. So they are working on it through machine learning, through artificial intelligence. They have shown us a proof of concept. We are pretty sure that by the time our tender and our things are up and about, they will be able to develop that system. Similarly, if there is a riot in the jail, 5 people are together and they are fighting, or 10 people have got together. People scaling walls, someone trying to commit suicide, because suicide was a challenge. So through machine learning, the cameras can give us an alert, and these are force multiplication. We'll never have the amount of force that we want. As we speak, 815 constable level, what we call warders in the jail, they are under recruitment in prisons in Punjab. We had a vacancy level of around 30%. We still have it till these guys come in, they get trained and go to the ground. So for next 1 year, we'll be actually dealing with a minus 30% force vacancy. So there have to be technologies which are force multipliers. Similarly, we have a Government of India supported project where we are giving body-worn cameras to our jail officials. And it is not only simple body-worn cameras. We have developed a software for storage of the feed, and through the feed, we are going to analyze the behavior patterns of various prisoners also. Another important thing that we don't realize, Navneet, is the amount of money that the government is spending on trials of prisoners. Courts, पहले अंग्रेजों के जमाने में कोर्ट और जेल इकट्ठे हुआ करते थे, आसपास हुआ करते थे, so that जेल से कैदी को कोर्ट लाया जाए, उसका ट्रायल हो जल्दी से. Over a period of time, courts कहीं चले गए हैं, jails शहरों के बाहर चले गए हैं, और कोर्टों से, जेल से कोर्ट पहुंचाना एक बहुत बड़ा कवायद है सरकार के लिए। 2016 में पंजाब में एक स्टडी हुई थी। प्रेजेंट IIM डायरेक्टर of Rohtak, he was then in Ahmedabad, Professor Dheeraj Sharma, he did that study. Government of Punjab was spending 45 lakh rupees every day on peshi duty. That is the expenditure of government on just taking the prisoners who are in prison to the court for that purpose of trial. क्योंकि आप उसमें पुलिस लगती है, ये लगती है, cost to government was 45, rough cost estimate was 45 lakh rupees per day. What we have done is 105 kiosks have been created in various jails. So basically, trial through VC. This is, I've been working very hard on this, and we are creating these kiosks in the jails where the prisoner will, so the trial will happen through VC, but just creation of the infrastructure is not the thing. We have, there has to be a rule for trial by VC. So the High Court was requested. They have drafted the rule. It is to be presented before the full court. Because of COVID, it is getting delayed. But the rules will be in place. The equipment in the jail side will be in place. Thankfully, most courts have the VC systems. Because अभी भी हम regular remand के लिए VC के through पेश करते हैं, तो courts में VC systems लगे हुए हैं. The idea is कि even in the police lines, even in the forensic labs, even in the civil hospital जहाँ postmortem होता है, all these places should also have VC kiosks. That will be the last thing. But again, there is a big issue. Where is the software to do all this? We need a video software, and that is a commercial proposition. You'll be, I called the Cisco officer here कि आप WebEx है, एक WebEx बनाओ इसके लिए, court trial के लिए. I think there's a huge market potential, and you can give this idea to your people in the commercial area. कि आज courts, most of the high courts are working through, a lot of work is happening through VC. During the height of COVID, all work was happening through VC. But what were we using? We were using video software, VIDYO, or some courts were using WebEx, but they are not meant for trials, where you have to have a system that एक case चल रहा है, उसके लोग हैं, दूसरा case lobby में wait कर रहा है, दूसरा case आ गया तो तीसरा case lobby में wait कर रहा है. So that kind of a system which can connect various, which is meant for scheduling of court cases, which is meant for scheduling of trial, we don't have a system like that, and no organization at the moment is developing it. I have spoken to NIC, I have spoken to various private players, but all were positive about it. I don't see much work happening in this field. So that's another good market that needs to be captured as far as video VC trials by VC is concerned. So these are some of the interventions that we have, technology interventions we are doing. Apart from that, our e-presence is a software like CCTNS in police. We've been working a lot on that to improve our e-presence, and to ensure that all the whole prison functions on a ERP rather than, what's happening in most government departments कि software तो बन गया है, लेकिन physical file खत्म नहीं हुई है, physical record खत्म नहीं हुआ है. So what we are working on now is that the physical record has to go, and the work of the last denominator, the lowest denominator, has to decrease. If IT interventions will only be successful if my lowest denominator starts feeling कि हाँ ये कंप्यूटर आने से मेरी जिंदगी आसान हो गई है. At the moment, गवर्नमेंट सर्विसेज में सबसे बड़ा प्रॉब्लम है, कंप्यूटर आने से जिंदगी आसान नहीं हुई. अब वही चीज कंप्यूटर पे करते हो, फिर उसका प्रिंट आउट लेते हो, फाइल पे रखते हो, रिकॉर्ड में रखते हो, रजिस्टर्स मेंटेन करते हो. तो हमारे लोएस्ट डिनोमिनेटर का काम बढ़ गया है. So he is not very happy about the computerization effort in government. So that needs to change, and we are working very hard with NIC on that to change that everything happens on the computer, and your work, actually your work is facilitated rather than increasing due to computerization.
That's wonderful, and I'm sure many are taking cue from what you're speaking, that it has huge commercial potential, and people are welcome to come and join this, address this need which could also lead to big market. In fact, Mr. Sinha, we work very closely with a company called Logically, and I would like to, in the same breath, request you that, and we have requested some of your officers also in Punjab cadre. We have been helping that. It's called Logically, AI-based fact-checking service, and we are just not marketing, but we are helping sensitize the bureaucracy, the police, and the civic administration about how that can be used in checking the spread of misinformation, disinformation, and fact checking. I'll request if you could assign some of your officers to take a 15-20 minutes presentation for that. It's a London-based company, but founded by an Indian of MIT who went to study MIT. Very, very high potential. Many police officers, IPS officers have taken that, and it's huge potential, including Harsh, who has seen that presentation.
Okay.
So I'll request Punjab Police also to have that presentation.
I would come back to you on this.
Sure. Now we are going on and on. I just don't feel like taking it anywhere near to closer on that. But there has been a discourse on alternative imprisonment, drawn from the human rights, very romanticized ideas. How pragmatic are these in the Indian context, Praveen?
Navneet, I think they are very pragmatic. They are very essential. One thing that many of us, especially our generation, would know if we have seen that movie Do Aankhein Bara Haath, is that open prison concept. We have an open prison in Naba. Most states have one or the other. There's one, Rajasthan has one in Barmer, if I'm not mistaken, where open prison concept is like it's a agricultural prison which has tracts of land where the prisoners come and work in the fields, and it's a semi-formal kind of organization. Their families and can come and meet them every day. It's a semi-open kind of a thing, and people don't run away. They are actually, this is the process of reintegration I was talking about. So we have this small amount of reintegration platform called the open prison already. What Rajasthan has done, they have created houses, one room setups, and the families, the wives and all, or the husband can come and stay with the prisoner in the prison itself, in the open prison. So, and this has a salutary effect. It has an amazing effect, and we actually have given incentives also. A person who does minimum of 2 years in the open prison, actually uski saja 1 saal kam ho jati hai. So many people take up this offer of open prison. India does not have it. What we have in India is a parole system that every year you're given X numbers of weeks to go home and look after your domestic affairs. किसी ने खेती करनी है, किसी ने बेटी की शादी करनी है, कुछ भी करना है, तो वो parole system है. Western countries have a separate system called halfway houses or parole license. So what they will do is, अगर 20 साल का सजा हुआ है, so after 18 years, they will be released on parole license, and you have to maintain good behavior for 2 years. Another thing, or they have these open prisons, जिसको कि halfway houses कहते हैं. They are not agriculture prisons like we have in India. They are open prisons where the prisoner's family can come and meet them every year. So they'll stay for 2 years in that semi-open prison, which they call halfway houses. And if they behave properly, then they are left out. So, but our interventions are parole and the open prison. In fact, Navneet, one thing that, in fact, I'm in touch with CHRI, एक Vidhi Law Center hai. I've also talked to a couple of other organizations here, including the State Legal Services Authority. How do we reduce the number of under trial prisoners in Punjab? I was trying to explore ways and means, because if the criminal justice system के arms अगर बैठ जाएं तो एक साथ, तो हर बंदा दूसरे को कहता है कि trials late चल रही है, पुलिस का evidence late हो रहा है. End result is the trials are slow, and we have a high number of under trials. So I was trying to explore and see if you can help me on that. Many countries, what they do is they tag prisoners, anklet लगा देते हैं, electronic anklets लगा देते हैं, and just as I said कि parole license पे जब छोड़ते हैं तो it's not a straight away कि आप जाके घर पे रहो, आपको एक electronic anklet लगा देंगे जिससे कि आपका track होगा, location आपका movement सारा track होगा, and you can only go to certain, I mean in a certain geographical area, or your movement is tracked. The end result is that. So bail for the under trials, I was thinking I mean, this is an idea I'm floating, and I'm looking at the legal aspects with the help of a few organizations. Why can't we offer an option to our prisoners, the under trial prisoners, that either you remain in jail as under trial prisoner, or if you opt for a tagging, your body tagging, then you can be given bail. So it's a semi liberal atmosphere. It is not a complete bail where you are given the permission to go and stay outside. So tagging के साथ आपको अगर छोड़ा जा सकता है, conditional आपको liberty दी जा रही है. So we are looking at that angle. So, and that would reduce a lot of pressure on the prison on the correctional administration. The overcrowding वगैरह पे इसका बहुत बड़ा effect होगा, और lots of other crimes like property related, जो चोरी में जो repeat चोरी के offenders हैं, उसको हम tagging कर देंगे तो उससे हम काफी कुछ control कर सकते हैं. जो drug related offenses में जो छोटे quantity वाले, जो बड़े smugglers हैं, आप उनको मत दो. So we can decide on the type of the criminal that there are, and we can use the tagging as a offer, as a platform. Instead of staying in prison, you get yourself tagged and stay at home. We are watching where you are going, and if there is a crime that, I mean, then there is evidence with me. If you indulge in crime, if you are at a particular location at a particular time and a crime happens there, then we will be coming after you. So this is another technology, come whatever you may call it. This is another project that we are presently working on. Let's see what comes out. It will be a long drawn one, but I think one should always leave an idea. एक कीड़ा डाल देना चाहिए, कहीं ना कहीं जाके कुछ ना कुछ उससे निकल आता है.
My dear friends, you're watching BI Dialogue with the very bright, so full of ideas, IPS officer, Mr. Praveen Kumar Sinha, ADGP Prisons, Punjab Police. And Praveen, हम लोग मेरे Grey Matters Communications, which is the parent organization of the initiative called Bureaucrats India, there are 3-4 journalists. As a journalist, let me tell you, you have given us at least 20 big stories. And it is such a delight to talk to you. I'm sure there are journalists in Punjab. Rajiv Roy, who's the editor for Bureaucrats India, he is in fact in Chandigarh. And Rakesh is there, Ranjanji is there. And we are also delighted. They have been sending me messages that just carry on as much as you can, because you are giving just some amazing news bites, as they say it. And this is going to be in the public domain and open for consumption of all. Now, the next question is related that imprisonment also has of course, psychological and also has a consequence for the public health. The prisoners, as and when they go back, they are weak, frail, and perhaps because of low psychological morale, they also are prone to more disease. And there are some studies that we were talking about, discussing internally. What's your take on that, Praveen?
Yeah, health. I'm sure the prisoners lose a lot of health while they are in the prison, and health care is not at the optimum in the jails. That's a fact. What we are doing, or in fact, to tell you very frankly, we have not countered this question very often, because it's almost taken as an assumption कि prison में जाके, because of the lack of activities, इतना जगह नहीं है कि हर बंदे को खूब दिन में खिलाया जा सके. They can indulge in sports, or they can indulge in physical activities, even though we try to put them through yoga and PT as much as we can, but that can only be optional. So the mental state the prisoner in, many a times they don't really indulge in these activities. So yes, the end result is that prisoners do lose a bit of health in the prisons. Um, Medicine-based interventions are there, but I think the interventions need to be much wider. And as you said, um, food and diet, yes, but everything, uh, all that costs money. So we give them 2 meals a day as per the approved government plan. But yes, most people would be thinking that's the only food prisoners get in the jail. That's not true, Navneet. You would be surprised. Would you know that prisoners cook in the jails? They cook for themselves. एक तो kitchen में जो बनता है वो एक अलग बात है. But just a question to you: did you know that they can cook in jail? अपना भट्टी लगा के खुद खाना बना सकते हैं?
No, not
I'm
really.
sure
No,
you
not
didn't know
really.
that. So we have
I'm
these.
also a victim of that stereotypes about jail, and this is such
I'm
a
sure.
pleasant
हाँ, वो
demystification that is happening.
शोले का अंग्रेजों का जेलर वाला इमेज होगा
जी,
दिमाग
जी.
में या whatever.
Right.
But in fact, under trial prisoners by law are allowed to cook. Convicts can cook on permission from the jail superintendent. So how do they cook? Jail, उनका जो area होता है उसमें outside the barracks, of course, in the open area, they have these small chulhas there. The small stoves are there, and they can buy their dry rations and cook. In fact, we encourage it because this is one of the ways of keeping them busy. So, और जो जेल का खाना है वो सुबह उनको 9 बजे मिल जाता है, शाम को 5 साढ़े 5 बजे मिल जाता है. People like to eat later, so some people will reheat it. The dal I give, they'll put more tadka in it. उसको फिर से तड़का लगाते हैं. So they remain busy. So we also do not oppose it, except for the high risk prisoners जिनको कि हम ज़्यादा facilities उनका curtail करके रखते हैं. So there are I mean, a lot of milk is sold in my jails. We have Verka booths in every jail. I mean, some jails have 2 or 3 Verka booths. So people buy. So people who can afford it can take care of their health as far as the nutrition is concerned. But yes, the long and short of it is that this is a matter of concern. And frankly, I hadn't taken it up. Your question actually gives me an idea of doing an evidence-based study to find what are we losing and what could be the solutions. In fact, I mean, I believe in getting a study done rather than just working on anecdotes. So we might have anecdotal evidence of people losing health, but we should actually get a study done, and we will get it done. We have organizations. You'll be happy to know, in fact, when the year that when Punjab topped in the suicides, topped so-called, we have an Institute of Correctional Administration, Chandigarh. So we contacted them, we gave them money, we got a study done on the causative factors of suicide. And I have a complete suicide prevention strategy in place today. And we are, I mean, based on the evidence collected by them, the suggestions with them, the suggestions given by them, we sat down in a strategy meeting and we came out with a suicide prevention strategy. And we have it in place. Hopefully we'll not get the ignominy of being the toppers in suicide anymore.
And the last question, again, a related one. What is the kind of impact it has on social cohesion? The parents who are coming to jails, it has an impact on their families, the relationships, the social standing. Has there been any thoughts around that, Praveen, in your state?
A lot of it, actually. In fact, if you look at the whole, the gamut of rules and laws that are governing prison and correctional administration, they take all this into account, and that is why you have the system of parole. They keep visiting their family so that integration with the family remains, the connect with the family and society remains. So this has been built into the law from before. But having said that, the social impact is very high. Going to jail at the end of the day is going to jail. उसका जो negative impact है family के ऊपर, उस extended family पे is still very high. And because of lack of correctional interventions in most states, including Punjab, where the prisoner does not come out proud from prison, that yes, he has been able to improve himself, he is more employable now, there is more demand for his skills in society, that we have not been able to counter this negative impact. And that is where all my interventions are aimed at. That the person, when he is finally walking out of the gates of the jail, he should turn back and say that I am coming out a more skilled person from here. I can now earn my livelihood. जैसे पेट्रोल पंप्स में prisoner जो हैं वो दिन में आके काम करेंगे सुबह से शाम तक, ताकि वो जब बाहर जाए तो कोई भी पेट्रोल पंप वाला उसको 14,000 रुपए 16,000 रुपए महीने पे रखने को तैयार हो. उसी तरह से कारपेंटर, कंप्यूटर कोर्सेज भी हम कर रहे हैं. Mobile repair is another area we are focusing on, जिसका की demand है. And these can be done in small halls. I mean, we don't have huge factory sheds. We have, some jails have these, but things where a lot of people can be trained in a small space, we are doing that. And what is in demand outside? So coming back to the question, that if I can ignite that thought in the prisoner, that yes, he is employable now, he has something to look forward to, that would be a great success for me. And all the interventions are possibly guided towards that.
One last word, Praveen, if I may have missed out by way of some questions. Anything that you think you would like to add to this wonderful?
Yes, because I see a very wide array of people connected to this platform. What has happened is I didn't know about the correctional system before I started working for it, in fact, heading the department. This is something in which, and this is true about the Western world, the academia, the research organizations, they need to be more closely and intricately involved in the work of correctional administration. This is, देखो, नवनीत, मैं कहता हूं कि ये लोग ना समय के मारे हैं जो जेल में हैं. Why is it that 70% of the prison population is below poverty line? क्या गरीबी बेचारा क्राइम करता है, अमीर क्राइम नहीं करता. ये तो वो हैं जो समय के मारे हैं. ठीक है, क्राइम हो रही है सोसाइटी में, सब ठीक है, लेकिन they need more of civil society interventions. Sorry. They need to be taken up by the larger academia. We need to study them more. They are human beings who have fallen on the wayside. And this is a group which is there, which is a group which is together, which is an audience that can be connected to. This is not out in the open कि मुझे जाके खोजना पड़ेगा कि कहाँ victim है. यहाँ पे लोग बैठे हुए हैं. And 85% of the prison population, I may be wrong, I mean just a figure, कि they are the ones जो कि किसी न किसी समय की मार पड़ी है उन पे. रब का पाना जो कहते हैं पंजाबी में, वो है. और उनको सुधारने के लिए हम जो कर सकते हैं वो हमें जरूर करना चाहिए. More and more people need to get connected to the correctional administration.
Thank you, Praveen. Thank you so very much for demystifying prison, bringing to light the great work you have been doing, for packaging it so well and glamorizing in right sense of the term. You know, for all those officers who thought prison posting was a punishment posting, I think you will have proven to them as well.
I'm loving every moment of it.
You will have proven to them as well as to the kind of glamour and the kind of work that you can do, and how policing has changed over the years, how officers like you mean so much more business, so much of intent is there, so much commitment, transparency, and you have been so candid in accepting the follies of yours as well, your as in the department or where the gaps are. You have also been very open in, you know, giving a call to all those who can to capitalize on the possibilities and opportunities that are there. And also the academia, the research institutions likes of us, on how can we collaborate. This is a societal issue. There are human beings who have fallen by the wayside because of Samay Kumar, as Praveen Sinha, ADGP Prisons, Punjab Police says very rightly, and all of us in the society have a role to play in bringing them some justice in whichever possible way we can. Thank you, Praveen Sinha. Thank you so very much. You have been a delight to speak to, and I'm sure this is going to serve as a template for many next generation of IPS officers who are going to certainly draw much more from your thoughts and actions.
Thank you, Navneet. It was an absolute pleasure. And thank you for connecting. And I'll connect further with you on that logically thing that you mentioned.
Sure. I thank my colleagues, Rajiv Roy, Naina Jha, Sweta Bharti, Pooja Rai on supporting me and on taking this initiative of Bureaucrats India. Thank you, my dear friends, for watching. This is going to be posted on our YouTube channel as well. And we shall keep coming back to you with great stories and keep bringing back the likes of Praveen Sinha, a dear friend, with so many brilliant thoughts and actions to showcase what he has been doing. Thank you all. Jai Hind.
Thank you.